Do you think you're the father at this point?
No, because she was married.
What?
Your Honor, I was in the middle of a divorce. I had been separated from my husband for over a year. We were in the middle of a divorce.
I could look in our face and sit here and say, not our father, and you're looking just like us. Like, are you serious? And then you look, after all that, you should have inquired about this and made sure that the other two.
She would tell me one minute she's pregnant by me. She'd tell me, I asked her, what's the reason you got hickeys on your neck? And she tells me,
really?
A guy that's at her mom's complex pushed her up against the washing machine and put hickeys on her neck.
Really?
Now, that didn't fly with me.
The case of Todd versus Foster is officially underway, presided over by Judge Lake. Ms. Todd is dragging her former beau, Mr. Foster, to court to prove he's the daddy of her 4-month-old daughter, Selena, all because he got cold feet about the wedding after questioning the kiddo's paternity.
You were suing your former fiance, Mr. Foster, to prove he fathered your 4-month-old daughter. You say he called off the wedding due to paternity doubts.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Foster throws down the gauntlet, voicing his paternity doubts, thanks to Ms. Todd's bombshell confession of a little side hustle during the baby-making window. Ms. Todd owns up to her escapades, which supposedly started as a harmless night out, but clearly escalated.
So, Mr. Foster, you called off the wedding.
Miss Todd, we was engaged. The reason why I called it off was because it was one day, a friend of hers, she wanted to go hang out. Miss Todd told me that it was her friend, his girlfriend, so I'm like, okay, I don't got nothing to worry about.
In a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, Mr. Foster details his discovery of some saucy texts on Ms. Todd's phone, which set all the alarm bells about her fidelity and the baby's paternity. The texts were more than friendly, igniting a wildfire of drama and doubt.
I normally don't go through phone at all. Her phone just kept on buzzing, and a text message said, it was good, I want some more. In my mind, I'm thinking like, be my fiance, seeing this.
Went out with a friend and stayed out all night?
Yes, Your Honor.
So did you sleep with him that night?
Yes, Your Honor.
Under the stern gaze of Judge Lake, Ms. Todd spills the beans on not just one, but multiple nights of indiscretions. She details another rendezvous with the same gentleman, again with protection, further tangling the web of who's the dad.
Go to the store, get something to eat, then we went back to the play, and it just happened. We used protection.
Sound like y'all was planning it to me. So was this the only time you had sex? You didn't know that, Mr. Foster?
This is my first time ever hearing about the second time.
Mr. Foster recounts the whiplash of feeling joy at the pregnancy news, only to be slammed by memories of Ms. Todd's cheating spree. This bombshell led him to ditch the wedding plans and question whether he was indeed the father.
Did you tell the other guy you were pregnant?
It was a possibility that he wasn't the father. So no, I did not tell the other person. He found out on pictures on Facebook.
Did he ever think he was the father? Because you know protection is not 100%.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
As the emotional stakes rise, Mr. Foster confesses his inner turmoil about signing the birth certificate amidst his doubts, driven by a longing to be the father he never had. His tale is a tearjerker, showing just how deep the roots of personal history can go.
The reason why was because I was the only guy that was there that had stepped up.
So you came to the birth. At that moment, you just stepped up, or did you say, I really think I'm this child's father now?
Well, it was like more, I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna be a man since Mrs. Todd is staying with us.
But you did not believe the child was yours.
Mr. Foster whips out proof of their engagement, throwing a curveball that contradicts Ms. Todd's timeline of events. This piece of evidence adds layers to their already complicated love saga and the paternity mystery.
We was already engaged for her birthday is in the summertime. If I'm not mistaken, it was cold out when the guy came and come and get her.
Outside when he came.
And
Do you see the wedding cake right there? That's on her birthday.
Oh, and there's the ring.
August 8th.
So now, does that refresh your memory? Were you engaged when you had this man come pick you up?
Ms. Foster, aka Mama Bear, steps into the fray, laying out why she suspects her son isn't the father, based on Ms. Todd's own words and a push for a DNA test to clear the air. The family drama intensified, dragging everyone through an emotional gauntlet.
As I was saying, I told her that she needs to take a DNA test with this guy. Family members of hers were calling me, let me know that this guy was the father. He didn't want to be involved. My son, I said, if you're going to be with her, you might as well marry her and get over the fact that the child may not be yours.
Ready for the big reveal? The tension hits its peak as Judge Lake unfurls the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Foster, you are her father.
Oh,
I told you was her father.
Can you believe this drama unfolding right here? Mr. Roll asserts he is not the father of Miss Gadelian's twin daughters, adamant in his belief that her infatuation is the only reason she's pointing the finger at him. He paints a picture of Miss Gadelian's behavior as over-the-top obsessive, detailing her relentless presence around him and her sneaky snapshot tactics. If you thought this was juicy, just wait until you hear what's up next.
Mr. Roll, you are here to prove you are not father of Miss Gadelian's twin daughters. You say she's infatuated with you, and that's the reason she wants pin her babies on you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that just happen? Out of the blue, Miss Gadelian stands her ground, confidently declaring that Mr. Roll is undoubtedly the father of her twins. She paints a heart-wrenching picture of abandonment, detailing how he left her to fend for herself with 2 babies, her heart shattered into pieces. The drama ramps up from here, so keep your eyes peeled.
You say there is no question Mr. Roll is the father of your twins. You say he left you with 2 babies and a broken heart.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wasn't that a plot twist? In a turn of events in court, Mr. Roll dives deep into Miss Gadelian's so-called obsessive antics, accusing her of taking countless photos of him without his permission and practically haunting his workplace. This revelation dives into the nitty-gritty of their complicated interactions, highlighting a serious clash over personal boundaries and alleged over-the-top behavior. Buckle up, because the courtroom revelations are about to get even more intense.
Your Honor, she's obsessed with me. She would take pictures of me. We'll sit there, she'll walk past my job, staring at me. Then when me and my ex broke up, I seen just numbers of pictures that I never seen before. I didn't even know what was being taken.
You said you saw pictures you never knew were being taken.
Did you catch that curveball? Miss Gadelian retraces the seemingly innocent beginnings of their romance, starting with light-hearted flirtations during work breaks, evolving into more meaningful social media banter. She emphasizes the normalcy of their budding relationship, spotlighting the mutual interest that gradually scaled up. You won't believe what happens next, so stay tuned.
On breaks and stuff, I would go over to his job and get drinks or whatever. Player, you would say. He would flirt with everybody there. He was flirting with me. I was flirting. We started writing on Facebook and whatnot, you know, because after a while, he invited me over to his house.
Ready for another shocker? Amidst the courtroom tension, Mr. Roll drops a bombshell by admitting he wasn't exactly single during their interactions, revealing a girlfriend in the background all along. This bombshell opens up a can of worms about the true nature of their relationship, leaving Miss Gadelian feeling misled and revealing Mr. Roll's cavalier attitude toward his flirtations, despite being committed elsewhere. And guess what? There's more drama just around the corner.
When she sent me the message on Facebook, I had pictures of me and my ex together. We all would go trips, we'd do vacation. So she was well aware I was in a relationship when she hit me up. She was well aware. She went through my Facebook and were able to find out where I was at, how to message me. She seen the pictures of me and my ex.
You won't believe this twist. After discovering her pregnancy, Miss Gadelian faces Mr. Roll's cold shoulder as he expresses fear over how the twins would upend his life. This pivotal moment uncovers Mr. Roll's initial denial of paternity and showcases the emotional roller coaster Miss Gadelian endured, contemplating the daunting prospect of single motherhood. The plot thickens, so don't go anywhere.
I asked him, I said, what would you do if I was pregnant? And he said, it would ruin my life. I said, well, then never mind. He says, you're pregnant, aren't you? And I said, you know what, I am. Don't worry about it.
She told me she had to tell me something. I didn't find out actually like 2 or 3 days later what she wanted to tell me. That's when she told me she was pregnant.
Here comes a game-changing revelation. The courtroom digs deeper, uncovering that Miss Gadelian was technically still married, albeit separated, adding layers to the paternity puzzle. Mr. Roll seizes this detail to bolster his doubts about fatherhood, hinting at potential other liaisons by Miss Gadelian. The stakes are high, and you'll want to see what's revealed next.
Do you think you're the father at this point?
No, because she was married.
What?
Your Honor, I was in the middle of a divorce. I had been separated from my husband for over a year. We were in the middle of a divorce that I was trying to divorce last a very long time.
And I was told she said slept with someone else. Like, in my mind, I'm sitting there like, it can't be mine. It's from people I work with, and also people that work, partner that she work at also.
Can this get any wilder? As the heat turns up, it's disclosed that another man not only signed the birth certificate, but was also present at the twins' birth. This bomb drops amid escalating tensions and unresolved conflicts between Mr. Roll and Miss Gadelian, with both navigating a minefield of betrayal, responsibility, and past decisions refuse to stay buried. Hang tight, because the courtroom drama is far from over.
In my mind, if she, as another man on the birth certificate, another man was there for the birth, another man cut the umbilical cord. So in my mind, I would have some part. You would have reached out to me at some point in time.
I asked him if it was okay before it was even done, and he said he did not care.
Approaching you and saying, look, I have a boyfriend now and he wants to sign a birth certificate.
Hold on to your seats for this jaw-dropping moment. Into the courtroom steps Mr. Taylor, taking on the role of father to the twins amidst the ongoing dispute about their paternity. His commitment to the children, irrespective of biological ties, starkly contrasts with Mr. Roll's reluctant denial, illustrating the profound differences in their views on fatherhood and moral responsibility. The climax is on its way, and you won't want to miss it.
You signed the birth certificate, these beautiful children, when they were born, and you were also at the hospital Miss Gadelian delivered.
I was. Me and Sarah had built a relationship. I knew she was pregnant. Obviously, I knew they weren't mine. There was rumors that they were Willie's. There was rumors saying that they weren't. After our relationship, I didn't care. I just knew that the man wasn't around.
Are you ready for the grand finale? Tension reaches its peak as Judge Lake prepares to unveil the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Roll, you are their father.
Right out of the gate, things are heating up. Miss Palmer and her twin sister storm into court, guns blazing, ready to throw down over who their real daddy is. They're not just here to stir up drama. They want DNA proof that Mr. Palmer, the man on the defense bench looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, is their biological father. Despite their fiery entrance, they're on different pages about what they actually want from him, which only adds to the soap opera vibe. Mr. Palmer, with a face that could curdle milk, swears up and down it's not him because their mom was already pregnant when they met. As the twins raise their eyebrows, so do we. Grab your popcorn, folks. This is just the warm-up.
Petitioning the court for a paternity test to prove the defendant is your biological father. That it is impossible for you to be the biological father of the Palmer twins.
Can you believe what just happened? Miss Palmer is up next, spilling her guts with a mix of heartbreak and a dash of righteous fury. She's absolutely gutted that Mr. Palmer, a man she's called dad in her heart if not in person, is now denying everything. Flashbacks to childhood memories flood the courtroom as she recounts those fleeting moments they share, painting a picture of a dad who's there 1 minute and ghosting the next. Her twin backs her up, adding her own color commentary to the sad family portrait. As the tension mounts, you'll want to stick around because the tea is about to spill.
I was playing in the backyard with my sister's father, and I ran to the front of the yard, and so happened he pulls up. Hey, twins. And he zoomed off. I remember at 8 years old, him coming.
Hold the phone. Did he just say that? In a jaw-dropping turn, Mr. Palmer throws down the gauntlet, denying he's ever laid eyes on these two. The twins are having none of it, serving up a heated rebuttal with a side of, "Are you kidding me?" This standoff has the courtroom buzzing as they detail every chance encounter with a man who seems to have a PhD in hit-and-run parenting. Their frustration is palpable, and Mr. Palmer's denial are about as sturdy as a house of cards in a windstorm. Don't touch that die, because the sparks are about to fly even higher.
It was a time when we were 11 years old, right? Came home from, then you have a big brown van.
Oh,
when we
my
came
God.
home with
There's
our
something
mother.
wrong with this
as
brain,
soon as we
young.
walked in, this man, you guys look just like he was sitting at our kitchen table.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, here comes the Backstory Express. The court dives into the nitty-gritty of timelines and possible deceptions, with Mr. Palmer narrating a tale that sounds more like a daytime TV plot than real life. He claims he was duped about the pregnancy timeline, using it as his get-out-of-fatherhood free card. The details pile up, and so do the doubts, as everyone tries to keep up with his story that's slipperier than an eel. The stage is set, my friends, for revelations that might just flip the script.
Here's number one. She's already pregnant.
My mother was a
You better
virgin.
watch out.
Yeah.
This before we even talked.
Well,
As I
start
took her
talking to a
home with my
pregnant woman.
sister, they worked together. I dropped them off. We got to know each other a little bit.
Wait, did he just drop a family tree bombshell? Mr. Palmer, perhaps in a bid to distract from the current drama, shares that he's got enough kids to start his own small village. This little gem adds layers to the mystery. How does a man with a double-digit brood keep all his stories straight? The implications are as juicy as they are complex, with family ties that could probably strangle a soap opera cast. Fasten your seatbelts. We're heading into a family feud that could make Thanksgiving look like a tea party.
That I ever had a DNA done on. And that was because I asked for it because I was 60 years old and had a baby.
Still having
And
kids.
my daddy had 32. And the only reason I asked for a DNA at that time because I wasn't sure.
You'll need a scorecard to keep track of this emotional roller coaster. The twins lay it all out, their voices thick with emotion as they detail a lifetime of missed father-daughter dances and unanswered birthday wishes. They paint a vivid picture of a father-shaped hole in their lives, making a compelling case for Mr. Palmer to step up and face the music. Their heartfelt plea tugs at the heartstrings, maybe even a juror or two. But will it sway the man in question as we gear up for the next bombshell? Remember, the plot always thickens in paternity court.
Since she got in contact with this man, my sister, that this man has said we're not his kids.
And she said
And
that.
this man could look in our face and sit here and say, not our father. After all that,
Believe
you
me.
should have inquired about his and made sure that
Believe
the
me.
other two,
Find
besides
out.
the 10,
Here's a twist. Enter stage right, Mr. Palmer's daughter, who could double as his public relations manager. She's all praises and defense for her dad, throwing a lifeline to a man currently swimming in hot water. Claiming her father's always been Mr. Honest, she presents a stark contrast to the twins' narrative of neglect and abandonment. As she stands by her dad, courtroom is split. Whom to believe? Keep watching, because the family drama is about to reach soap opera levels.
These girls feel like my dad is their father and he hasn't been in their life. If he had any doubt in his mind, I'm sure he would have stepped up to the plate. I'm sure he would have asked for DNA. So
And when I reached out to
we
Camille,
heard
she
about
was
it.
very
We heard, my mom
receptive.
told me as a kid that
Just when you think you've heard it all, another Palmer offspring enters the fray, echoing his sister's sentiments with a solid dad's no deadbeat declaration. This sibling tag team attempts to shore up their father's crumbling credibility, insisting he's as reliable as gravity. Yet, as they recount family tales that conspicuously exclude the twins, the plot thickens enough to cut with a knife. The stage is set for a showdown that could rival any season finale. Don't go anywhere. The climax is up next.
I've always known about the girls, I've always heard through family members about the girls, but I've never been able to. I actually, since we share the same last name, I claimed him as my sister. I mean, I've never laid eyes on him either. This is my first time seeing him. He's always been consistent with his story.
Cue the dramatic music. It's envelope time. As the judge grips the results that everyone's been waiting for, you can cut the tension with a chainsaw. Will the DNA test prove Mr. Palmer is the father, or will it vindicate his vehement denials? Either way, the family tree is about to get some new branches or have a few chopped off. As we brace for the big reveal, remember, in paternity court, expect the unexpected. What happens next could rewrite everything.
You are their father. You genuinely look surprised, Mr. Palmer, and emotional. How do you feel?
He would have been there.
In a surprising twist right at the start, Ms. Murphy claims that after a brief but passionate relationship with Mr. Miles, she became pregnant, and now that he is married, he wants to deny their 3-year-old son. She passionately expresses her frustration and disappointment with Mr. Miles' refusal to acknowledge their child. Strap yourselves in, because Mr. Miles' rebuttal is just as jaw-dropping.
Passionate relationship offended Mr. Miles, and then you became pregnant. Now you say he's married and won't forget he has a 3-year-old son.
Yes, Your Honor.
In an explosive response, Mr. Miles firmly denies paternity of the child, suggesting that whispers and rumors from friends and family hint at another man being the biological father. The audience gasps in surprise at his adamant denial. Keep your eyes peeled. Ms. Murphy's comeback will have you on the edge of your seat.
That the only person you're trying to forget is Ms. Murphy.
Yes, Your Honor.
You deny her son and say her friends and family have told you another man is his biological father.
As the plot thickens, Ms. Murphy recounts how Mr. Miles reacted negatively when she announced her pregnancy. She accuses him of shirking his responsibilities, pointing out his refusal to support or even recognize their child, which earns a round of applause from the audience. Things are about to get even spicier, with accusations flying back and forth.
I don't want you to have this baby. This is not okay to make that baby, but he can't be man enough to take care of it. The paternity test,
And that's not
any
true.
other way, he said he didn't have the money for it. If that's the case, Your Honor, we would not be here. It would already be taken care of.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more heated, Mr. Miles throws a curveball by accusing Ms. Murphy of being unfaithful, citing an incident involving hickeys from another man. Ms. Murphy vehemently denies these claims, insisting she was faithful and deeply invested in Mr. Miles during their relationship. Buckle up, the judge is about to step in and shake things up.
1 minute she's pregnant by me, she'd tell me, I asked her, what's the reason you got hickeys on your neck?
To lie. When I was talking to him, I was only talking to him because I was so busy. I really liked him at the time that we were seeing each other. I was not talking to anybody.
With confusion hanging in the air, Judge Lake delves into the nature of their relationship, with Mr. Miles describing it as casual and non-committal, which starkly contrasts Ms. Murphy's narrative of their past involvement. The twists keep coming, and what follows will leave you questioning everything.
We were cool, we were friends, I wouldn't say it was a relationship. Yeah, her family members told me specifically
The family members that you were sleeping with.
They told me that she was getting around.
Family members that he was sleeping with told
Miss
him that.
Murphy, she knew that.
In a critical turn of events, Judge Lake lambasts the lack of convincing evidence from Mr. Miles regarding his paternity doubts, emphasizing that trivial incidents like hickeys are hardly a basis for denying fatherhood. The stage is set for a dramatic twist as a new testimony turns the tide.
Because I know what type of woman I was dealing with, the type of stuff that you let me see this stuff.
She don't got no stuff.
The hickeys on her
Never
neck.
had hickeys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So move forward from that.
My evidence is that every male and female know what sex smells like. She came over to my house.
Raising the stakes, Mrs. Miles, the current wife of Mr. Miles, steps up to testify, shedding light on the timeline of her relationship with him and her discomfort with the chaotic introduction to Ms. Murphy's child situation. What she reveals next will definitely stir the pot further.
Come on now.
And the child is 3 years old.
I went over there nowhere.
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. He's not even out.
I know nothing about Tanisha or Takori at all. I found out we got together 2012.
In a heartfelt moment that might just soften the hardest of hearts, Mr. Narvaez, who has acted as a father figure to the child since he was 2 months old, shares his deep emotional connection with the child, asserting that his role in the child's life is unwavering, regardless of the biological ties. The moment of truth is up next, and it's a game changer.
Not biologically, but like everything I teach him. He got favorite colors. We play games. I taught him his colors. I taught him his numbers, his ABC. When he wake up in the morning, the first thing he do, he wake me up. Daddy, I love you. Good morning, Daddy.
In a climactic reveal, the tension hits its peak as Judge Lake reads the DNA results, confirming that
A 3-year-old Takori Murphy. Mr. Kiba Miles, you are his father.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have no reason why.
Can you believe we're just kicking things off? The session begins with a formal invitation to sit. The case Green versus Duncan is announced, spotlighting a paternity dispute involving a 2-year-old named Angel Bryant. The judge acknowledges the audience and participants, setting a serious yet open tone for the proceedings. Buckle up, because we're just getting started on this roller coaster.
This is the case of Green versus Duncan.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Mr. Green,
Yes, ma'am.
you
That's
claim your right as a potential father to the child in question today, 2-year-old Angel Bryant, were basically stolen from you.
Right out of the gate, the stakes are high. Mr. Green asserts his rights as a potential father have been compromised. He expresses doubts about his paternity since the child's conception, but has still provided financial support. Despite his uncertainties, Mr. Green continues to fulfill financial responsibilities just in case Angel is indeed his daughter. You won't want to miss what's coming up next.
You say at 56 years old and having never fathered a child previously, yet you maintain financial responsibility for Angel just in case she's indeed yours.
This part's a real jaw-dropper. Ms. Duncan admits to having been intimate with another man during her relationship with Mr. Green, but insists Mr. Green is the father because the other man used protection. Shockingly, she reveals that both men are currently paying child support, eliciting gasps from the audience. Hang tight, because there's more where that came from.
To sleeping with another man while with Mr. Green, but say you're positive is Angel's father because the other man used protection. Green is solely supporting the child, and you admit that both men are currently paying child support.
Here's where things start to twist and turn. The backstory of how Mr. Green met Ms. Duncan unfolds. They started their relationship cautiously, eventually becoming intimate. Ms. Duncan acknowledges she was not fully truthful about her other relationships, increasing the complexity of the paternity issue. Keep watching, the plot thickens.
I was out, of course. Staggering a little bit, walking home alone from the club.
Then shortly thereafter, you guys began dating?
I don't have sex. I'm not a sexually active person. We did not sleep together, and this was about 3 months later.
Waited, which is good, got to know one another, and then you had a sexual relationship.
That's correct.
This segment turns up the drama notch. Ms. Duncan describes her unexpected pregnancy discovery. She initially informed Mr. Green, who was stunned by the news, given his age and lack of prior children. This moment intensifies when Mr. Green mentions his reason for pursuing clarity in court, wanting the truth to come out. You'll definitely want to see what happens next.
They took me to the emergency room and they told me that, and also, congratulations, you're 9.5 weeks pregnant.
Really? She was the first person you called?
Yes.
And so what was your reaction? Were you happy?
I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
You were 54 years old.
Yes.
You never had
Yes,
another child.
No, Your Honor.
And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, Mr. Green recounts the moment Ms. Duncan hinted the child might not be his, which came around 6 or 7 months into the pregnancy. This revelation, discussed, leads to a heated exchange about the timing and truthfulness of Ms. Duncan's admission, deepening the emotional and legal entanglements. Strap in for the revelation that's about to unfold.
And she told me, she said, well, the baby may not be yours. That's after 6 or 7 months.
Of pregnancy or
Yes.
when the baby was born?
6 or 7 months during pregnancy. And that's why I found out the baby may be.
Yes,
That's
I told
just
you
those
that. I
exact
told you
words.
that I was what,
Okay,
3 months? Now you're
7
gonna
months.
tell I'm 6 and 7
You
months?
were about to have the baby.
Every revelation here adds a new layer of complexity and shock. The drama peaks when Mr. Green discusses the birth of the child, noting his absence due to not being informed, a point of contention and sorrow as he missed a significant life event. Ms. Duncan admits her mistake in hastily assigning paternity on the birth certificate, acknowledging it may have prematurely defined familial roles. Next up, the emotional stakes are through the roof.
I felt you didn't want no child, and the man.
Well, you could have left it blank. If your heart, if you know who the dad is, you can let it be signed. Get what you can
I'm
get
not
from him.
playing with him.
Get what you can get from me.
No, oh no. Really giving me nothing.
I know that. How would
Paying
you feel if I do the same thing to you if I was vice versa?
paying you.
Brace yourself. The moment of truth is near. The climax occurs from as the judge prepares to deliver the DNA test results, a moment filled with high emotional stakes.
Mr. Ronald Green, you are not her father.
Can you handle this curveball? Ms. Manship's devastating discovery and search. At age 10, Ms. Manship's world turned upside down when she learned that her dad was actually not her biological father. Stunned and devastated, this bombshell kicked off a 20-year scavenger hunt to find her real dad, with nothing more than an old photo, a name that might as well have been a needle in a haystack. Buckle up, the emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
Ms. Manship, at the age of 10, you were shocked and devastated to learn that your dad was not a biological father. That began begin your 20-year search to find the man your mother claimed is your father. After your exhaustive search, find him, you came up with nothing.
Just when all seemed lost, the court miraculously tracked down Mr. Laup, who's about to make an entrance and meet Ms. Manship and her mother for the first time in over 3 decades since their dramatic split. The room is charged with tension and anticipation, like a finale of a reality show. Get ready, because the drama is about to dial up a notch.
Well, Ms. Manship, this court has located him, and he will join us in a moment. This will be the first time meeting him, first time seeing him since they broke up more than 30 years ago. But before we bring in the defendant, Mr. Laup,
in walks Mr. Laup, totally clueless about the existence of Ms. Manship until a recent bombshell phone call from the court. His bewildered expression could rival a sitcom scene. He denies any knowledge of her, setting the stage for some jaw-dropping moments. The next part is a tear-jerker. Make sure you have tissues handy.
When the court contacted me just recently.
You never knew she existed.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
But you did have a relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
You remember that.
For years.
I have to ask, is this you in this photo?
Yes, Your Honor.
We know we at least have the right Mr. Laup. How does that make you feel, Ms. Manship?
Relieved.
Ms. Manship shares her tireless efforts to find Mr. Laup, from internet deep dives to asking strangers in chat rooms if they knew her dad. True detective in the making. Her dedication is both heartbreaking and oddly inspiring. Don't go anywhere. You'll want to see how Mr. Laup reacts to all this.
Since my early teens, I've searched everywhere. I've searched phone books. I've searched online. I've asked people, and I've never had a response from, in the past 20 years, nobody has ever given me even a single detail, or where he lived, if he has any family. I don't know anything.
You had no hope until this court tracked him down.
Yes.
The plot thickens as Ms. Lutman dives into the soap opera of her past relationships, with Mr. Laup and another mysterious man making the paternity question as clear as mud. As they untangle the timeline of who was where when, the suspense builds. It's like a reality TV show cliffhanger, and you'll be on the edge of your seat.
Well, I only wanted to keep one.
You did?
I was really happy with this man.
You were very happy with Mr. Laup?
Didn't want to stay out of the picture. He said he had to get back to Arkansas and take care of business. Me and my ex got back together, and about a month later, I started getting symptoms, and I was with my ex till I figured it was my ex's baby. So we just continued all the way up until I had her.
Hold your popcorn. It's the big reveal. Paternity results revealed. Drum roll, please. Jerome hands over the paternity test results, and boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Laup, you are the father.